Welcome to the Sales SOS podcast, where we answer your sales distress calls. I'm your host, Liz Heiman, bringing the rescue boat to your sales challenges. In this ever-changing sales environment, it's easy for leaders to feel adrift. We're here to be the beacon guiding you to success. Each episode, I'm joined by top sales experts and practitioners who have navigated this waters and come out victorious. Together, we'll uncover the insights and strategies that will help you hit your sales targets and grow your business. So if you're ready to turn your sales distress into sales success, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's topic. Welcome to the Sales SOS podcast. I'm Liz Heiman, your host, and it is Valentine's Day. So me and your Sales SOS podcast crew, Brynne, Tillman, and Renee, Bigelow, are going to be talking about loving your customer and loving your prospects as part of our Valentine's Day celebration, because we should all celebrate as much as we can. So how do we show love? How do we show love? Because it's important in our, I say it kind of tongue in cheek, but truly our customers want to feel cared about. Mm-hmm. They want to feel like you care about them, like you are interested in them and even love them. I mean, I love some of my customers. I think they're wonderful, amazing people who I adore. And I love to do things that represent that. So what are some ideas that you guys have? How do we love our customers and our prospects or make them feel loved? Brynne, start.
The first thing we have to do is identify what matters to them. So we can't show, the golden rule is treat people the way you want to be treated, but the platinum rule is treat them the way they want to be treated, right? And I think it's really important on an individual basis what matters to our customers. I have customers where the best thing I could ever do for them is make an introduction into a prospect. I have clients where the best thing I could ever do is introduce them to be a guest on a podcast. I have clients where the best thing I could do is provide them a little bit of insight that can help them get more views to a video that they put out, right? Like all of our customers have different needs. There are 5 things we want from our customers, but we have to identify, which, by the way, it's more business, internal introductions, external introductions, case studies and stories, and vendor introductions. So those are the 5 things we want from them. We need to identify what are the 5 things they want from us. And when we can identify that on an individual basis, then we're really sharing. We're really loving them in a way that's meaningful to them.
I agree, like helping them, right? It's essentially what you said, Brynne, helping them in the way that matters to them is like the number one way, right? I think also sometimes the bar is really low. I was just with a client a few weeks ago, and he was talking about it's a 3rd generation business, been around for 75 years. And the current CEO was talking about how his dad used to say, it just shocks me all the time is how easy it is to have a really good business if you just do what you say you're going to do. Right. And so we're working on that CEO posting more often. And he wrote that on his LinkedIn, and it was hugely responded to and engaged with because they recognize that this company is often the only company they deal with that does do it in a timely manner, do exactly what they say they're going to do. Like it's just become very known for them, but people are starved for it. So following through and honoring what you say, I think, being very transparent and honoring what you say and being very clear that you're doing what you're going to do and that it gets done is also a way that we show love. You'd think it's table stakes, but you can differentiate with it. I just gave you an example of a client who has.
And I think sometimes with the people that we're in the middle of conversations with, maybe it's not as important to do something extra special, but we can. Like we're having conversations with them. I can send them a card. I can send them a Starbucks gift card. I can say something good about them on LinkedIn.
I can write them a review on their LinkedIn, right? I can give them a gift. But I think it's even more true for the people that you're not engaged in conversations with. That maybe you have for whatever reason you're not talking right now. They're not actively looking right now. It's not the right time, or you've just engaged in something and there's nothing really for you to be talking about in this moment. It's a great time to send a love note, and I mean that, like I said, a review on LinkedIn. Who doesn't want a positive review on LinkedIn? And I don't care what anybody says. People love getting cards. You guys both get cards from me every once in a while.
I was just going to say, you're actually very good at all of this, Liz.
So it's a simple thing, and it can be so powerful. I remember for a while I was doing some development work in Hawaii, and I was meeting with the county council. And I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I used to bring them donuts. My brother had a donut shop, and so I'd stop at the donut shop on the way to a meeting and I drop it off. But sometimes I would just drop off donuts, and they would call me. Did you come and drop off donuts and not say hello to me? Right? Because it wasn't big enough that it could be considered corruption, but it was a way to say, hey, I know you guys love these, right? It makes you happy. And sometimes they can be silly things. I had a client many years ago who is a doctor, and we were in Hawaii, because for those of you who don't know, I lived in Hawaii for many years, and I would go drop off, or I would have somebody else go do this for them, drop off Band-Aids that had their logo on it, hand sanitizer that had their logo on it, but also a flyer kind of thing, a card that said, hey, if you get stung by a jellyfish, do this. And if you step on Vana, which is, I forget what it's called, do this. And if you get cut, do this. If you get cut on the lava rock, things that happen in Hawaii that don't happen in other places. Well, they used to call me and say, Liz, we've used them all. Please send us more. And they were so grateful. And it made them feel like somebody cared about them and the people. And so now the people who are this doctor's potential prospects are like, oh my goodness, this doctor left a Band-Aid for me, right? And it was, sometimes they're simple little things that don't seem important, but anytime you get give a token or expression of appreciation, people feel it and they're grateful for it. Now, I'm not saying everybody does. Some people have no feelings. I'll go there, but most people are really grateful. And when I send a card, I almost always get some sort of a response, because people are glad to get it. And I don't do it for the response. I do it to make people smile. So if you think about how do you give to your clients in a way that is meaningful, do it because you want to do something for them, not because you want something in return.
Liz, as you were saying that, one of the things I was thinking about, like, how do we show our customers love? We help them. We do what we say we're going to do. Like, those are kind of table stakes. But another one that kind of fits in that theme is, I was reminded of it as you were talking about, like, sending the thing from time to time, is essentially don't let them feel ignored. And Liz and I talk about this one a lot. I still believe globally there are trillions of dollars of revenue that are missed due to poor account management.
Oh yeah. Lots of money on the table.
Lots of money just sitting there that could be scooped up. And when you make sure they're not ignored and you do these nice little things, you get them in a state of appreciation. That's not just good for, we want to show love and not need something back, but you will get it back. And I'll explain that a little bit. If you get them into a state of appreciation more regularly, it's not about just renewing business. It's about, hey, like, there is somebody in our other division that I think could benefit from this too, because I'm getting them in a state of appreciation. And like, kind of, one of my best friends used to use this phrase, standing in front of her. Like, she would say, I just need you from time to time to stand in front of me so that I get out of the house, or I remember to do this or whatever, because life is really hectic or whatever. Like, sometimes we just got to stand in front of them for them to remember the state of appreciation that they have, to think about other ways that they could share their appreciation further, right? Like think of other people who could use the services, think of other services they might need from us, things like that. And if we ignore them after they become a customer and just kind of go on autopilot, oh, if they had a problem, they'd let us know, and we spend all of our energy, with, and I'm saying this because in a lot of companies, the sales is full life cycle. In a lot of companies, it's separated and we have account management as separate, but there are many companies where you prospect and you manage the account after you get new ones. And it's, if we're always pushing that rep to get new, and they're not spending time with that account management and doing those nice things, then they aren't getting in front of the people who can generate the new people for that rep, right?
So let me just hang on just a second, Brynne. Let me just dig into that for 1 second. So I want to tie it back to things that we said earlier. One is that we were talking about people in one of our earlier episodes. We were talking about people not even realizing that there's a solution to a problem, and when they first start to have a problem, they're going to talk to the first person through the door who comes to talk to them about that problem. So if you want your clients talking to you about their problems so you can solve them for them, you need to be continuing to have those conversations, and they need to know that you care enough about them that you want to be there ahead of solving their problems before they happen. Anyway, I don't remember what the other thing I was going to say was. So Brynne, go ahead, and then we'll wrap this up.
You actually just covered everything on my mind, so we're good.
So send your clients love notes and your prospects in whatever form is comfortable to you, but people love to be connected with and appreciated. Check back in.
I want to add one parting thought on that. In addition to the notes and the tokens of appreciation and the extra conversations, spend the time improving the experience. Your brand is a sum of the experience that people have with you. So one-to-one, do the notes, get in front of them, as my friend would say, stand in front of them, make sure you're part of their life so that you hear the random conversations of the new problems they're having and all of those things. But also just keep always working to improve the experience, because people talk about experiences. Brynne told us about a really bad one earlier. That person didn't just burn the lead that Brynne was. That person has burned the lead for everybody that Brynne has told, right? She's told all the people about these good. So people talk about the negative ones more often. You have to do a lot more to get people to talk about the good ones. So always improve the experience if you want to show love.
All right. Thanks for joining us on Sales SOS podcast. I hope you guys all have a fabulous day. Happy Valentine's Day and happy selling.
Bye.
And that's a wrap of this episode of the Sales SOS podcast. A huge thank you to our experts for throwing us a lifeline with their insights. We hope today's episode has equipped you to navigate the sales seas with confidence. Never miss an episode. Subscribe to the Sales SOS podcast on your favorite platform. If you have questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to explore, join us live on LinkedIn every second Friday, or share your questions on YouTube or LinkedIn. Until next time, keep sailing towards those sales goals. I'm Liz Heiman, your captain here at the Sales SOS podcast, saying smooth sailing and successful selling.